Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Culture is the Cure. Really excited about today's episode. We're sitting down with a dear friend of mine. Let's get right into it. Hey guys, we are excited about today's episode. I'm here with Yanni Mita Coles. And Yanni, go ahead and tell us where you're from and a little bit about it.
So I am actually from West Africa, Ivory Coast, which is in French Côte d'Ivoire. It's a French-speaking country, we are people that love culture. We love everything, food, music, and things like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, what would you say that you love the most? So you're people that love culture, food, and music. What would you say that you love the most about Ivorian culture?
I would have to say the food. Honestly, we pride ourselves in the food and all of the different history behind it. We are actually known for our cocoa, so that is like 100% cocoa.
Right.
It's a lot of it, 90% comes from Ivory Coast, and so we love that, and just like sauces. That often people would eat with rice or accompany it with some type of sides, and it brings family together, it brings people together, and we just love to share food, and it's a conversation every time.
Amazing. I love that. So since you moved to America, about what age?
When I was 6.
When you were 6 years old. So you would say that you primarily grew up in America.
Yes.
A lot of your formative years were here. So what would you say was the hardest thing for you, like traditions or concepts to understand making that transition?
So coming to America, the things that were really hard for me to get was the fact that I guess the life became a little bit too serious when I came to America. It was first I grew up personally just with chauffeurs, maids, and things like that, which is really common in the Ivory Coast. And so coming here, we had to do our own laundry, we had to do our own stuff, and going to school, not being able to understand English was really hard. And so I was in ESL classes, and I didn't connect with people that well. So from that perspective, as a 6-year-old coming here, it was kind of that. It was a little difficult, but as far as just overall, the culture here in America it's a little bit too fast. That is, it's a little fast. In Africa, we're just kind of laid back
and slower,
and just slower. No one's in a rush, but it has its pros and cons.
I think a lot of our viewers can definitely relate to the fast-paced lifestyle that we live, and sometimes how it can be taxing to a lot of us. So I think, like you said, there are definitely some pros and cons there. So another question I always think is interesting to ask people about their culture is, what holidays do you guys celebrate the most or take most seriously, etc.?
Holidays. We love Christmas. In Ivory Coast, it's like a party. Even though there's no snow, it's not like that feel here that we, usually have. We love Christmas because of the fact that it just brings us again together. Honestly, Africans, with Ivory Coast specifically, anything that will cause us to come together and have fun. It could be, I passed my exam. Okay, everybody come over. We're going to celebrate. So for Christmas, things like that, gifts related, things with just the Christian perspective on what Christmas is, all of that is a big thing for us.
That sounds like so much fun. I think, a lot of people are looking for a reason to celebrate, and I think that's a beautiful thing about Ivorian culture. So, we've talked about food and stuff like that. What were the vibes like when you guys would sit down and have meals? What are some of the things that typically happen when you would sit down and have dinner with your family?
Okay, so this was an interesting question. The things that we would talk about, it's crazy because this is gonna go into another thing, just being a 6-year-old.
Right.
Or before that even. The cultures, the things that we even do that I know even now, around the table, we either just, like Americans, talk about anything. But there are certain things, the ways we were raised, the way we were raised, that is very important and different from American culture. And that is the way we eat, how we eat. Sometimes we can't put and that was just probably family, parents, the way we were raised. But we couldn't do certain things. We can have fun and talk about anything, but we couldn't do certain things. And the conversations, I guess, that we would be having is things, religion. It could be politics. Oh my goodness, when my parents start, it's never gonna end. And sometimes we just talk about family stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's cool. That is good to know. So another thing that I was super interested about is for your family in particular, are there any traditions that you guys partake in that you would something that you value or that you think is just unique?
Yeah, I would say the way the traditional weddings are a big one. Traditional weddings, because that in our culture is what we consider to be married before the civil wedding. And so that's a major one, having to get the gifts, getting the gifts for the family, which would be the woman, coming to see the family. Here we just say, hey, can I marry your daughter? And then that's it. You can just go ahead. But there you have to present, the families have to come together. They have to bring gifts. They have to give money. There's a lot of things that they have to give. And then they come back and celebrate. We have different segments throughout the traditional wedding that would allow us to play games like find your wife, and all of the women would be hidden, and the man has to guess, oh no, this is her, all of that. It's just this respect thing of, I would bring value to her, I would honor her, and so doing that is a big event. That's and big. Holiday. Yeah. That's
huge. That sounds very cool. It would be very cool to be able to be there and witness one. And I think it's definitely a unique experience aside from what we do here, as far as celebrating a union. So I really enjoyed hearing about that. So how do you think that, and this is a bit of a broad question, right? But I think a lot of our viewers would love to know, how do you think that you benefited from being an immigrant?
I think the opportunity that America brings is really big. That is the biggest thing even in Africa. If you're coming to America and you're living here, a lot of people back home are looking to you to be successful somehow. Even if it means that you're a lawyer. That's all. If you're in an African home, you gotta be a lawyer, you gotta be a scientist, a doctor, or somebody. And so coming here, the opportunities here are a lot more broad than it is back home. So coming here and developing a career for myself and things like that is such a great opportunity that people back home don't get. So it's awesome that you can pursue something that much. Yeah,
that's cool. So in your opinion, some of the general misconceptions, are there any that if they're, I know Ivory Coast is not necessarily a country that's in the spotlight, especially in the American spotlight, but are there any misconceptions that you would say there about Ivory Coast?
Misconceptions. I think people think that we are really cocky. Like we are really too confident.
Yeah, I speak French.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's true.
Right.
It's really, really true. That's. Wait, what?
So it's not a misconception, it's the truth.
That's what I say.
Right, okay.
In my eyes.
Right.
I think.
Okay.
I think we are because we are it, you know, but people think that it's like, no, that's just me being funny. No, but you know, we're you know, low key.
Right.
We're not we're low key, you know, we chilling.
Right.
But no, that's all. It's nothing too deep.
Okay. Okay, so one of my final questions is, you know, if you could tell people one thing about your country in an effort to help them understand it better, what would that one thing be, even if it's small?
That we have a big heart. Like we love to help people. Like if you're down, and we only have, let's just say, like a little bit that can barely feed our family, we'll invite you in still and help you get back on your feet. And I think that's one thing that, you know, overall, we helping people, we get taken advantage often.
Right.
And so people think that, oh, you know, they're nobody, it's okay, you can just, no, that's because we have a big heart and we love to help people who are down and stuff like that. That's for sure.
That's great. All right, so, you know, I said that was one of my last questions. It was, but I do have a final request.
Okay.
So can you give our viewers an Ivorian send-off? In French, anything in French, tell them, you know, have a nice day, thanks for joining us.
Okay. Donc, je vous dis, si vous ne pouvez pas partir à Paris, venez en Côte d'Ivoire.
Wow. I love it. Well, Yanni, thank you for joining the program. You know, we're looking forward to talking to you more and just learning more about that. Thank you all for tuning in for that episode of Culture is the Cure. We hope that you got some cool insight on Ivorian culture. Well, have a great day.